Hello, the Lionsgate approaches this Friday, and I'd like to come on and speak about some things related to your self-concept and having the courage and conviction to move forward in following the call in your heart and soul that has come out in the cards in moving forward. You may have felt today that today wasn't just any other Monday, it was different, feeling ignited in your energy within, in showing up differently, in moving about differently. Are you feeling a greater sense of calm in your energy, as in your nervous system settling even more, in you making new breakthroughs, in really reclaiming power within your own energy? Let me know if that one is resonating with you. It takes courage to truly blaze your own trail and to show up as your authentic self unapologetically, even if you ruffle feathers and you have people who may not respond well to that for whatever reason that may be. Following your heart is something that you simply must do, and you may be feeling that even stronger. Interestingly, the blessings card came up upside down, reversed, and it gave me the impression that your manifestation or what you're wanting to call in or your desires may be coming in unexpected ways, in ways that you were not quite prepared for or expecting, that you may have something in mind that you want or that you're setting your heart on something, yet the blessing that actually does come through may be something unexpected. And it may be something actually, and what I'm feeling right now is even more magical and magnificent, because God's plan is always going to be bigger and better than what your monkey mind can conceive of. In a game of imagination, we can do our bit and connect to gratitude and connect to the law of reversibility in reverse engineering and in already claiming and being an embodiment of your desire, the wish fulfilled already here. Yet, in terms of our creation, there is so much more abundance and possibility and magic beyond that, as what we generate in our body. It could be even more magnificent, it could be even more expansive, and it does require you to truly get in touch with your emotions. And I'd like to speak on that. Some things were coming up today and some things that I witnessed in others through interactions. Boundaries are required in speaking your truth and having the courage to say no, not to give your life force energy away to things that are not fulfilling to you, or not harmonious, or not expansive. I'll give you an example of a woman I saw working in a cafe who was taking her break and having her food. This was not the first occasion in which I saw other people approaching her and talking to her, even standing over her and sharing stories, almost trauma dumping or emotional dumping on her, and witnessing that, and her cowering in her posture, in her energy, or just letting it pass, letting it slide, and going along with the conversation, or attempting to, I believe, is probably playing a role in a performance of not speaking truth because it's you're in a work environment or customer is always right approach, perhaps in that energy, whatever it may be, but not speaking up and saying thank you and eating right now and honoring and respecting your own boundaries and having your own sacred space to enjoy your food. And I did want to speak on this, on the energetics behind that as well, because the energy that you're in while eating matters so much in terms of your consumption, in terms of your energetics and your frequency and vibration and what you're creating. Because if you eat in a state of stress, you amplify that energy. You pack in stress into the food that's going into your body, that's amplifying that stress factor. It's adding stress to your digestion. It's adding, you're encoding the energy of stress into the food. And I do recall times, say personally, growing up, like eating times were stressful for various reasons, and in other dynamics outside of my family home also. And it led me down a pathway of having this this quirk where I wanted to control, I will say, what foods I was eating. And also I was having a growing preference for eating alone, because then I could be mindful of energy and presence and switch off everything and be purely mindful and be present with my food and to enjoy it and to treat it as sacred, which it is. And it affects your energy, it affects your digestion, it affects how that food influences your body in terms of the mindset, the energetics that you're in while consuming it. So that situation that I had witnessed today, I did end up speaking to her as I was leaving and paying. And the need for boundaries there are so important so that you honor your own space to enjoy and appreciate your food, whatever dynamic you may be in, and not to allow others to approach you when you're making time for yourself. Like your focused attention is currency. And you allow someone else to influence that or in a way that is not what you prefer. It says something about how much you're valuing your own energy and time, and that just perpetuates cycles of what you do not prefer. So the boundary is required if you want better. You've got to speak up and have the courage to be disliked, to ruffle feathers, to whatever it's going to be. Because do you want certain cycles that you're not preferring to continue, or do you want to be the change by broadcasting a new signal, by being a new energetic signature coming from you in what you declare, what you're allowing and tolerating and experiencing, and what you're refining within you in your energy is what you want to create and experience, and what you're allowing in dynamics with others also. So that does require you to tap into the emotions. The emotion guardian came up, and another situation had come up today where someone was calling on me for some guidance, some support or nurturing in a difficult dynamic of grieving the loss of something and starting a new chapter. So through change, we can experience transformational grief, in which we're shedding the roles of who we were or the current self as we're transforming into the new evolved self or starting the new chapter in the new experience, which is the taking on a new identity, and the old identity or role or persona has to be shed to say goodbye to the people pleaser, to say goodbye to the person who had porous boundaries, to say goodbye to the person who was accepting less than what they know they're worth and deserve, to alchemize and transform and shift into the new self concept of who you are now. And it coincides as two sides of the coin of the grief and the beauty of change, of the sorrow and the sadness of saying goodbye to something that is no longer your truth or no longer you, while also the expansiveness and the joy of the liberation and lightness to a new beginning and to a new chapter and to going into the unknown. So in tarot cards that come out were death, which is reverse, which is positive in accepting this death and rebirth and going into change. Six of Cups that also come out reverse, and that is signifying that emotional alchemy being required, as well as moving away from the past, Five of Pentacles, and the Fool, going forth into the unknown and possibly not knowing what lies ahead. Not, and I'd seen someone today who was wearing a T-shirt saying, "I do not know what will happen." And she was a Spanish speaker who didn't even know what she was wearing. I was reading it out and connecting with her briefly. I said, "Do you know what that says?" She was smiling and laughing, and I translated it to her and for her and was saying, "Well, you don't know what's happening." She said, "Well, yeah, that's true." And she was laughing. And I said, "But you're smiling, you've got the attitude right. So we may not know what's happening, but we can always choose our attitude. And the attitude should always be, I recommend it to be one of openness, of curiosity in a positive way, and gratitude, the gratefulness for what's possible, for how your energy can feel lighter, how you can feel expanded, how something magnificent and new can come through and dreams can come true for you in the power of creating your own world, the world card, and you being the one who is creating everything through the power of your imagination. I also connected with someone today who was sharing with me their psychic abilities and gifts and saying, and I get this from a lot of people that I connect with who tend to be attracted to this vibe. And when you're sharing who you authentically are and project a certain self concept that others may be magnetized to, it can activate them wanting to be authentic and share their truth. So I'm quite open about the clairs and psychic senses and experiences I've had and working in energy healing and the mysticism of that and working with unseen forces and believing in it, and my book being on that as well, and frequency and understanding how we're really truly living from the inside out. We've moved out of the end of the Kali Yuga period of destruction into the golden age of creation from within, a new creation and the creative life force vitality, and using and harnessing it in alignment within our vision, our heart and soul, purpose and sacral response to what truly lights us up and ignites us, and feeling even the convergence of timelines and feeling our future selves calling to us, activating us, so that we're, through reverse engineering again, rising to meet that version of us that also exists in the now, and that we know that. And that's why some of you who clicked on this video may feel an impatience or frustration, wanting things to be potentially better than they currently are, because there's a version of you who has gone through and is on the other side of something that you may currently be facing, experiencing, or transcending, transmuting, alchemizing. So that version of you who already has something that you're desiring right now exists, and you can feel and connect and merge and line up with that version of you, even meditate on that version of you and receive some insights of clarity, nervous system regulation, emotional alchemy, knowing that it's already done, creation is already finished, and that you are on the trajectory. You're creating right here, right now, that the world is created from you. As someone else I'd connected with was talking about how they could see another person's movie, as in their life story or where they were, or a gift or talent or something unique to them, and they could see that this kind of reading someone's third eye or reading someone's Akashic record and having this seer ability in a psychic sense, and sharing all of these things with wild enthusiasm, because this truth was coming out of their energy, and it is the call to voice retreat, to speak retreat, to allow yourself to be even more authentic, simply just being you, and knowing that you magnetize more of what is for you to you through just being the truth of who you are, and it being easy. It doesn't require much energy, because the more you're you, the less energy you require. It actually energizes you. If you feel yourself tired or drained, it may be because you're giving energy to things that are not in alignment with your heart and soul, and therefore it's overextending, it's performative, it is misaligned, and therefore it takes more energy from you. Anyone who feels that people are transitioning at this time, you feel that you have the perception that you're losing something, you're losing a version of yourself, you're losing a connection, you're losing a person, you're losing a sense of identity, and so on. I want to read this page that was channeled and a little message in my book, which is coming out on Friday. And it says, I cannot lose anything. My human self misses people, things, and experiences. The soul misses no one and nothing, because the soul knows we're all internally connected in love, and all can be experienced and shared through the portal of the heart, infinitely connected and blessed. Thank you. And so it is. I've certainly had experiences of energies of people who transitioned and passed over, as if they were walking down the street and taking my hand and holding my hand and walking with me, and feeling the presence of certain energies. And the person I connected with was also relaying experiences in that sense as well, and seeing things and having a greater knowing. And through the power of imagination, what you imagine is actually even more real, that we are asleep within the dream. And when we are in our imagination, consciously are open to it and receptive, we're more in truth, and we're more in what we can refine as our true reality creation, bringing it about into our reality. So I really recommend, when the sun goes down here, that you make creative visualization and imagination from the heart, as that person lovingly reminded me of. It's so important not just to visualize from a thinking state, but to visualize with heart and feeling, in gratitude for the vision that you are imagining and visualizing and creating, that you want as yours, in how you are connected to your heart in how you refine your self-concept. And it feels the most loving expression of you, and that you are even more loving of yourself, allowing that to be the alchemical amplifier and elevator within your own energy. Let me know if this message has resonated with you today. Sending you lots of love as you get into more creative imagination connected to the portal of your heart. Those of you who wish to join me on Friday for the launch and celebration of my book, which is coming, please do get your ticket in the link down below. I'd love to see you there to share more insights on this book, to do guided meditation, activations, and more. See you there. Thank you again. Sending you lots of love. See you in the next one.